With that, let's call in our commentators, Brandon Dodge and Charles Davis, with this opening week matchup.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Today is the opener of the 2017 NFL season between the Indianapolis Colts and the Los Angeles Rams. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Steps away to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
First down, Bridgewater. He gets it into the hands of Larry Fitzgerald. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Anytime you call man coverage against Larry Fitzgerald, you're really holding your breath as a defensive guy, because his ability to run such precise routes and use that big frame that he has, that body against you, it's going to be very difficult to break passes up against him.
Yeah, when you make 9 Pro Bowls in your first 12 years, you might want to give him a little bit more coverage than that.
Yeah, it's not just athletic ability. He's a thinking man's receiver as well.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. Escaping the pressure right. And he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit. And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. Off the play fake. Here's Griffin. Dancing to his left. And some room to work. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
And defensively, they had an extra defensive back on the field, their nickel package, and it made a difference. All the receivers were blanketed, so he tried to run for it, but he came up just a bit short.
And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll run for it with Turbin. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Call it a gain of 3. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
And on 4th and 1 as a running back, you're looking for any seam you can find. This is not where you want to be a hero and break off a big one. You just need to make sure you get that yard. And here he picks up the first down with a couple of yards to spare.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Cooper Kupp was his intended target, and it's 3rd and short. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater, and that is incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And Vinatieri's kick is good. And the Colts hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. So they come into enemy territory. Nice drive to start the game, but they probably wanted 6. They only got 3.
I agree with you totally. That's the expectation. When you get the ball and you start moving and you're rolling, you think you're going to end up in the end zone. But they should be happy with the 3. A good way to get things going here in this game.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. the first carry now for Frank Gore. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Here's Goff now on second down. And the ball is knocked out, and the Colts pick it up. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
They make so many catches that are so tough, so acrobatic, so difficult, that often surprises me when they actually turn the ball over. You know, when the ball actually comes free. It's amazing sometimes because of what we see them do on so many different plays.
Had to catch, but couldn't control it on the contact. They go play action here on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And some concerns caused him to slip to the 5th round. I guess if you're him, the good news is you kind of flew under the radar. Maybe expectations are low. You can come in and prove something.
And a lot to prove because those off-field concerns that creep in on you, you want to prove that they're all wrong, that they don't matter, that you are a much better player than what people picked you.
Really, it's a solid draft class from a year ago. They were able to address some key weak spots on their team and fill in some holes.
And they were able to identify the players they wanted early in the process. Got a little bit of luck because some guys may have fallen to them, but for the most part, knew their philosophy and stuck to it.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And it'll be a second and long.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. Being chased out left. Room here to run. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 14 on the play. And that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but still got a big chunk of yardage.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Mark Barron with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And the first play will be a field goal try. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. They'll try and throw for it with Griffin. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. For the Rams, let's take a peek back to 2016. It was the first season in L.A. since '94. Didn't go as planned. While they started the year 3-1, they wound up losing 11 of their final 12. And as a franchise, the Rams have now missed the playoffs 12 straight years. Only Cleveland and Buffalo have longer streaks.
Last year was such a crazy year for the Rams. Look, so many expectations being back in L.A. But it's really a year of being unsettled. People had to find places to live, training camp facilities. How do you even get to the airport? They had to take a bus everywhere, to the airport, to the stadium for home games, you name it. This year should be a little bit easier for them. Brand new coaching staff in place, and I really think that their young quarterback, Jared Goff, has a chance to make a big-time jump. The guy I'm looking forward to watching, a rookie receiver out of Eastern Washington, Cooper Kupp. I'm saying 60 catches or more his rookie year.
Wow, going on the record. Here's Goff. He'll throw underneath for Gurley. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pick up there, 26 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Goff, and an alley to run. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Throw right side is into the hands of his tight end, Everett. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. That kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. And another timeout taken by the Colts. That's their second, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this second quarter. We'll be right back. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to the City of Angels after this timeout. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. Buying time to his, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Alec Ogletree. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
On 1st down, Goff. To the right side to Aiken. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but have that kind of courage and toughness to run the routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks. Those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Gerald Everett is tight end, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 5.
One thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with the 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
On now is the big leg of Greg Zuerlein. He has hit from as far as 61 away in his career. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Charles, let's talk about these Indianapolis Colts as their offense comes back out. Yeah, they seem to be on a steady rise a few years back. 3 straight 11-5 seasons have been followed, though, by back-to-back 8-8 years. So not good in a relatively weak AFC South.
They used to run that division. That was theirs to lose. Now they're trying to get back to the top. And I think that they figured out that, hey, Andrew Luck at quarterback, that guy just in a big way. We're fine on offense. They spent their first 3 draft picks in 2017 all on defense. 2 secondary guys and a pass rusher. Malik Hooker being the top guy. They expect that to help them win the AFC South.
No gain that time on a completion, and it'll be 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at 3rd and the nose of the football. Now Bridgewater. And this is going to be incomplete. So all right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Reminder that later tonight we'll see the Giants and Cowboys battle in Dallas. Seems like they're always playing in week 1. And then on Monday night, a doubleheader. Adrian Peterson, his first game with the Saints. He's already back in Minnesota to play the Vikings. And then a 10-20 start on the East Coast. It's the first game for the LA Chargers traveling to Denver.
A nice AFC West matchup.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
And that's a good sign right there as we start the third quarter, because in the first half, not much space to run the football. And as we go into the half, we often think to ourselves, all right, what's the adjustment? What do they have to do? You know what a lot of the adjustments are? No adjustment. You know the game plan, been working on it all week. Maybe a little tweak here or there, a little bit better blocking, and now you're establishing the running game.
Now on second down, this is Gore. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll be a third and about 13. Goff now looks to throw. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Off play action. Here's Goff. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's third down. Frank Gore, the ageless one, over 1,000 yards last year. He's the first running back age 33 or older to top 1,000 since John Riggins way back in '83.
So what he's done is he's made the case for running backs who are approaching 30.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Henry Anderson in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a fourth down. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not...
Through an opening, and there he goes. The 20, 10, touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Colts add on to their lead. And a nice little start to the career for the rookie here, hitting the end zone in week 1 of his career.
And that's a true welcome to the NFL moment, isn't it? The one that you actually like. A lot of times it's that big hit from a linebacker that says, all right, Rook, here you are. But when you're able to put it in the end zone and feel that sense of accomplishment, that usually fuels you towards doing it many more times in your career.
Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall at the 24-yard line. And the Rams now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
second down. Here's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble. That could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. A first down throw for Bridgewater. Going up top. The swing pass caught, and he doesn't quite make it. They do stop him, but he gets it all the way down to the 1. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had a total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll be 2nd and goal. If you throw it this close to the goal line, usually you're thinking touchdown. Here they actually complete it but lose yardage.
When you're this close to the goal line, you have to anticipate that maybe you're going to see a defense. You can make a case that there's 11 in the box. There's just no room. So I'm with you.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. George Kittle with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. So we just witnessed touchdown number 1 for the Rook, and certainly that's a football he's going to want for the trophy case.
Yeah, this is one that you don't spike, right? This is one you don't throw to your teammate and let them celebrate. This one you keep for yourself, take it over to the equipment staff and have them mark it up, put it away, and then you get it later on, and as you said, mount it in your trophy case. Fantastic. Hopefully the first of many.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive, and it culminates in an Indianapolis touchdown. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. On first down, it's gone. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Henry Anderson in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you get 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack,
oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Henry Anderson able to disrupt yet another pass play, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Well, it's apparent that these guys are getting after it right from the opening kickoff. They roll right downfield and score on their first possession. And here on defense, back-to-back sacks. Someone is ready to play.
Now Gore. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But the bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
No luck for the Rams as they fail here on 4th down. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. Bridgewater on first down. Eluding the pressure right. Well, it's a shuffle pass, and it's complete. A gain of 6 there on first. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. A tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. A big loss on the play. That's the bad news. A consolation. They keep the football.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him.
And a fake here. Direct snap to the up man. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool him. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call it. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel like they've got something on. They've got the defense in the right spot. Just unsuccessful in that opportunity.
And he takes it down deep into enemy territory.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards the victory.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw on second down is gone. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The intended receiver, Tavon Austin, and it's 3rd and 4. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Tavon Austin from 4 yards out. And the Rams are able to cut into this lead. And oh, it's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. But he doesn't get far. They're able to stop him. And after all that, the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
Now Goff on first down. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. He took a hit on that last play. Now let's see how he and the offense respond on second. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. The Rams on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 15. A shotgun snap for Goff. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. 18 yards. There, the first down. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agree. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance.
After review of the play,
fresh set of downs here. From the gun, here's Goff. He's got Gore. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. On 1st and 10, Goff. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Kamar Aiken, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Rams have got this back to a one-score game. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Darius Butler. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they got one of the 2 touchdowns they needed. Now for the onside kick. And this is going to be taken in by the Colts. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The Colts in victory formation now as they take the knee. The Colts on 3rd down, not good, 0 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. And now with a play clock counting down, Chuck Pagano's going to take a timeout. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And with a 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look. They go down to a knee, and the new campaign off to a good start. It's a win here in Week 1. On now is the punter Jeff Locke. In fact, he punted nearby in college for UCLA. They are on to the 4th quarter now, by the way, in Santa Clara. And it was the Panthers that wound up winning that one. Cam Newton, 2 touchdowns.
The Players Zone quickly upgrade your team at the end of each game. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve. Welcome to Draft Week. All the effort you spend scouting comes down to this. Start the draft when you're ready.
The Bills are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
The title of workout warrior gets thrown around a lot, but if there's one guy who deserves the tag, it's gotta be him. I guess he wasn't satisfied with his combine numbers since he requested a redo on every physical test during his pro day. And boy, he sure didn't disappoint. From the 40 to the 3-cone drill and even the 20-yard shuttle, he was faster across the board. This is the kind of linebacker defensive coordinators drool over. He has the speed to move from sideline to sideline and slide into the nickel to cover the slot. After his workout was over, he even asked scouts if there was more they wanted to see. Seriously? I like this guy's attitude, and I know the team will too.
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
The importance of a lockdown pass defender cannot be emphasized enough. And that's exactly what every GM I talked to described him as. His ability to play physical and to outwork his opposition off the line have also been areas of high praise on his journey to the draft. This skill set could be seen in numerous games this year where he completely shut down some of this draft's top-rated wide receivers. When you're tasked with neutralizing an opponent's number one wideout each week, there's a great deal of responsibility to ensure you're not just physically ready, but also mentally ready. This is another important trait the GMs I spoke with mentioned to me that made them so excited about this guy. The hope is that he will quickly learn the playbook, get some solid reps in the preseason, and come week one, ready to play.
I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade. The Dolphins pick is in. Let's go to Adam with more on Graham.
Sources have told me that it was his impressive college All-Star Game MVP performance that solidified his positioning as one of the most sought-after defensive backs in this year's draft. He has a nose for the football and a willingness to attack the ball as it's in the air. Instincts are a trait that simply can't be taught, and many draft experts have compared him to a young Deion Sanders. If there's one knock on him that I consistently hear, it's that he needs to work on his tackling mechanics and strength. One scout even showed me film where he was shown struggling to bring down bigger backs and receivers one-on-one. He'll be meeting with a team nutritionist and strength coaches in the coming week as his new coaching staff feels that if they can bulk him up a bit, he'll win those battles.
The Bears are now on the clock.
don't forget, work on installing your game plan prior to this week's matchup. Cardinals are now on the clock.
Murphy's now off the board. Adam, what do you have on him?
Here's a guy who never quite lived up to expectations throughout the season until a solid late performance acted as the catalyst to this pre-draft hype. He followed up the strong late season performance with a stronger pro day, leading many teams to move him up their big boards. One GM I talked to felt his renewed confidence could be attributed to his performance in that late season game, stating, quote, "It was the shot in the arm he needed to begin believing in his abilities again," close quote. If he can continue to conquer the self-doubt that has held his game back in the past, he could be a formidable NFL wideout. He'll be a player to keep an eye on as the preseason approaches.
The Colts are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock.
Bills just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about it?
With this pick, we see a tremendous physical talent that fell out of favor with many teams based on reports that he struggled memorizing his playbook. These struggles were cited as contributing to several key mistakes in late season losses. A 3.7 grade point average student studying humanities, the explanation for his lack of football knowledge was puzzling to many of the scouts and GMs I spoke to. Other sources have told me that if the reports of his playbook struggles are indeed true, it may be more of a reflection of his previous coaching staff than his mental work ethic. They feel that making the jump to the NFL provides a clean learning slate for him. I expect his new coaching staff to bring him along slowly, and because of that, I wouldn't expect to see him getting any immediate on-field action until he demonstrates a mastery of the playbook.
Before this week's game, make sure to install your game plan. Get ahead on your preparations for this week's game by setting up your game plan. This is the last opportunity to resign your players, or they will become free agents. don't forget, work on installing your game plan prior to this week's matchup. Before this week's game, make sure to install your game plan. I'm Larry Ridley.
Larry, we have played 266 games in this NFL season. Only one remains, and it's the biggest of them all, as EA Sports is proud to present coverage of the Super Bowl. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy. And he'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. First carry for Derrick Henry. And now running right through it. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge differences, we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll run it again with Henry. Oh, and now some space to operate. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And we were down on the field watching Henry warm up before the game. He's a big man. No wonder he breaks those tackles.
And you remember what I told you when we were watching? It's not all pads. I mean, you get him out of pads and just him in a regular suit or an outfit. He is a huge human being and a lot faster than what people know. When he gets rolling, he's a lot to bring down.
Time running out here on the play clock. And now with a play clock counting down, Chuck Pagano's going to take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll set up to throw. Flushed out right. And he's got some space here. And he's brought down. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
And him running the football is not something that defenses spend a lot of time preparing for. But this guy has a survival instinct and a knack for knowing when exactly to do it.
He'll look to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain. 16 yards there and a first down again.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and he just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? They were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Now he's flushed out left. He can run for it, and he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis. With the first touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Colts are going to take a first-quarter lead. Striking first in any game is very important, but on this stage, the biggest of stages in the Super Bowl, that's huge.
You fully expect the other team to battle all the way through, but when you're the one setting the pace, jumping out in front, that has to feel great for the entire organization.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of... Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Throwing is Rodgers. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in. it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Rodgers going to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, the teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
The quick slant caught. And give them a full 10 yards there. 2nd and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And the Colts are in for the touchdown. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's opened his defense. Has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. The drive there only spanning 3. Prater on to add the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk at the 10. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Forced out to his left. And he slides to avoid the hit. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
They'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. He was looking for Cooper Kupp there, and it's 3rd and short. Close there. He caught it, just wasn't able to stay in bounds.
And that's where the sideline was used as a 12th defender. You know, 11's legal. This one is an imaginary one that my college coach used to call Sammy Sideline. Sammy Sideline can protect you at times, and in this case, that's exactly what he did for the defenders.
A good decision in the end to pull it and run, get some 9 yards and a 1st.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Mike Evans have taken the lead here in the fourth.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set. In racing, going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Shane Ray. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Short throw, pick 6 right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Dancing to his left. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And they turn the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalize a little bit on top.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken very short. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Time for this one final knee to put a bow on this title bout. And the Lombardi Trophy will rest in Indianapolis. The Colts are the Super Bowl champs. And when this moment comes, I think you look back at all the blood, sweat, and tears, the offseason, the workouts, training camp, week 1, 2, 3, all building up now to say you're a Super Bowl champion. It's worth it.
It certainly is, and rarely do we have a team that hoists the Lombardi Trophy that didn't have their share of bumps along the way, didn't have to face some adversity in the journey, and now they get to just enjoy it and revel in it. And all offseason, they'll be signing their autographs with Super Bowl champion underneath it.
And they are the Super Bowl champs. The Lombardi Trophy is theirs, and so are bragging rights for an entire season. What a season it has been. Feels like we have been there every step of the way. Our entire crew doing a wonderful job. Thanks to my broadcast partner, Charles Davis. For all those guys, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. We'll talk to you next season right here on EA Sports.